Margaret, this automation came just in time.
Oh, you mean the 4-hour day and the 4-day week?
Uh-huh. Between traffic jams and bus strikes, automation gives a fella time to get to work.
Come on in and meet the Ruggles, starring Charlie Ruggles. They're your neighbors and mine. There's Charlie, his wife Margaret, and the children, Sharon, 18, Chuck, 16, and the twins, Donna and Donald. They're 9. They live just down the block from you and across the street from me. Let's see what's happening to them today.
There's the car, but where's Charles? Oh, Charles? Is that you, Charles?
Yes, it's me, Margaret.
Well, why are you sitting on the curb?
Well, I'm depressed, and this is as low as I can get.
Oh, come now, cheer up. Other men have flunked the driver's test. Come on now, get off the curb and let's get in the car.
Seems to me the examiner could have let me drive the car home. I don't know. What took you so long?
Oh, the bus was so crowded.
Oh, you couldn't get on?
I couldn't get off. Luckily, I was wearing my new hat. It takes the hat pin.
Yeah, I get it. You know, I was doing just swell till that examiner asked me to park. He said my front was just fine, but my rear end stuck out too far.
Well, that was a rude remark if I ever heard one.
He was referring to the way I parked the car, dear.
Oh.
You better get in on this side, Margaret, and slide over.
All right. Maybe you ought to have Chuck help you before you take the examination again. After all, he did take a driver's education course at school.
Now, careful pulling out, Margaret. Now, careful. Margaret, please take it easy. There's a car coming, Margaret. Margaret, take it. Oh, brother, a police car.
Oh, dear.
You know something? I kind of enjoyed that ride home, Margaret.
Mm-hmm. It was fun sitting in the back of the cab holding hands. I still think that officer could have let me drive home. He had a mean streak.
Yeah, well, you're in the same position I am now. Your driver's license has expired, too.
Maybe we can take the examination together.
Oh, look at those roses. They need spraying. I'll do that on Saturday. It's good to be home after a busy day.
Yes.
Yes, sir, the peace and quiet of a man's home.
Oh, children! Children!
Hey, Chuck, turn off that music now. And I use the word music. Sharon, will you please get off the phone? Donna, stop screaming. Donald, stop scalping her now. Children. Oh, don't stop so fast. This sudden silence shakes a man up. You better turn on some dinner music, Donna.
I better start dinner. This crowd has a lean and hungry look.
Oh, what's that? That's dinner music? Oh, yeah, for cannibals maybe, huh? Yeah, you better shut that off, Donna. Oh, Donald, would you let Chuck use your bike to go to 12th and Walnut and pick up the car, please?
Sure. If I can borrow his bongo drums for playing Indian.
Not till you pay me the 50 cents you owe me.
If he pays you back, Chuck, don't forget I've got $1 coming from you.
When am I going to get my hair ribbon back, Sharon?
That isn't your hair ribbon, Donna. It's mine.
Besides, Sharon, I'm your daughter.
All right, now, please. Shake me up with some more of that sudden silence.
You can.
Now, I have a feeling that somebody changed the subject.
Okay, Pop. What'd you say the car was?
12th and Walnut. Donna, would you mind bringing me the evening paper?
It's on your chair, Pop. Front page up.
Oh, thank you. Certainly good to be home, huh?
Hey, wait a minute. How come neither you or Mom could drive home?
What was that, Chuck?
I said, how come neither you or Mom could drive home?
I was afraid someone would ask me that.
So was I. Well?
Well, I'll tell you, You see, my driver's license had expired, and I had to take the test again to get it renewed.
Oh, you flunked, huh?
Technicality. The examiner was unhappily married.
Oh, boy, you should have listened to me when I was taking the driver's course. Remember how I told you what Mr. Davis said? How most people have been driving for a long time didn't know anything at all
Yeah,
about it.
I remember, Chuck. I'll never forget it. Oh, the entire 6 weeks has been burned into my memory.
What's your excuse, Mom?
Oh, well, you see, I was pulling out of this parking place.
And she pulled out without an arm signal. This was a good thing, too, you know. She could have lost it.
When the officer asked to see my driver's license, and we found it had expired, too.
Boy, how about that? Mom and Pop both grounded. Boy, that is really something. As the holder of a legal driver's license and a certificate of recommendation from Mr. Davis, looks like I'll have to chauffeur you around.
Hey, remember, I can drive, too.
You know what they say about women drivers?
Yeah, but play it cool, Chuck, and don't say it.
I'll be back in a flash.
Yeah, be sure you don't have a crash. Oh, that boy is real rackety, isn't he, huh? Donna, would you come here, huh?
What is it, Pop?
Now, not a word of this license business is to get out of this house.
Gee, I should say not. I'm the chairman of the PTA Traffic Safety Committee.
And just see that Pete James next door doesn't hear about it either.
Why not?
Well, because he and I have been arguing for years over which one of us is the better driver.
Well, at least the argument's settled, Pop.
It is, you go and wash your face and hands for dinner, please. You through with your dessert, Donald?
Yes, sir. If 2 pieces of pie is the limit.
Yeah, that's the limit for you. Mm-hmm. Bring me a pencil and some paper, will you, please?
Yes, sir.
Now then, if the whole family will cooperate, we can solve our problem very simply. It's merely a matter of logistics.
You want to tell me what that means, Pop? So I can take an intelligent part in the conversation?
Well, I'll be glad to. It's a military term, Donna, having to do with transport and supply.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I'm glad you do. Well, now, our problem is, how can we all be transported to our various activities with a shortage in the supply of drivers?
Here you are, Pop.
Oh, thanks, Donald. Thank you. Hold on. Wait a minute. What is this? This is an examination paper. You got a 40 in arithmetic?
The teacher's unhappily married, Pop. A technicality.
Oh, I see. Well, we'll talk about that later. Now, we'll start out by making a schedule. Now, I have to be on the job at the Williams Manufacturing Company at 8 a.m. Now, that's 11 miles away.
Well, you could walk it using a military pace of 4 miles an hour. No. Now, that'd be pretty tough on a man your age.
Chuck!
It's pretty tough on a man my age.
How about the scout pace? You run 50 steps, then walk 50 steps.
Yeah, it's a pretty good idea. Now, if you left at 5:45 a.m., now let's see, in order to arrive at 8, take 4 times 3 is 12, divided by 2 for walking time, subtract 50% for running time. No, leaving at 5:45 will be too late. You better leave at 5.
Anybody for breakfast at 4:30?
You could take a cab for 2 weeks. Isn't that how long you have to wait for a second examination?
Yeah, that's what the man said. Now let's see. Now, it's 11 miles to work at 50 cents a mile. That's 550 times 2. That's $11 a day times 5.5 days a week. That's $66. That's $132.
Well, back to the Boy Scout pace.
How about Donald's bicycle?
Or my roller skates.
Or the pogo stick?
Oh, cut it out now. We've got to be logical. However, the bicycle is a possibility.
It's a racing bike. You could get there real fast.
Oh, I know that, yeah. But you have the handlebars way down low and the seat way up high.
Maybe we better forget the bicycle, dear. Remember how your hands got cramps from those handbrakes?
Yeah, I was the only Charlie in town with a Charlie horse on my little finger. I remember. Now, let's cut out the kidding now, because we've got to solve this problem. And if we can all settle down, we can attack it logically, calmly, and simply. Logistically, what we need is a schedule. Now, first of all, Chuck and Sharon will have to do the driving, right?
Right.
So our schedule has to begin with the time that they have to be in various places, right?
Chuck and Sharon have to be at school at 8:05.
Except on Tuesdays and Thursdays when I have senior hall duty and have to be there at 7:30.
And Mondays and Wednesdays, I have to be there at 7:30 when I do my Webelos work before school with the Cub Scouts.
And Friday is my day at the nursery school. I have to be there at 7:30.
Whoa. Take it easy. I'm writing all this down.
Well, it takes 40 minutes to get Dad to work through that heavy traffic. 40 there and 40 back. That's 80 minutes.
And 80 minutes from 7:30 is... Boy, that's early.
Donald, please, now this is no time for humor. We're facing a serious problem here.
Don't be upset, Father. Chuck and I won't let you down. We studied about senior citizens at school.
What do you mean, senior citizens?
Well, sure, Dad. As people get older, they become forgetful. That's why you were both driving around with expired licenses.
The reason you become forgetful is because it's a subconscious rejection on your part of the passage of time.
What does that mean, Pop?
It means, Donna, that a little learning is a dangerous thing. Now, look now. Now, we'll work this out in the same way we worked everything out as a family, in a democratic, logical way. Donna, Donald, you clear the table.
Is that democratic?
And Chuck and Sharon, you help your mother with the dishes, huh?
Boy, democratic.
And I'll take the hardest job myself. I'll work out the schedule. Now, let's see. The problem is to get me to work. Now, Sharon has to be at school at 7:30.
How are you coming, dear?
Oh, well, there it is. There it is. All down in black and white. Are the twins in bed?
Uh-huh. And Chuck and Sharon are doing their homework.
Okay, now sit down, Margaret, and listen very carefully, because here's my schedule. On Monday and Wednesday, Sharon takes me, and we leave at 6:10, and I arrive at work at 6:50. Tuesday, Chuck drives me. We leave at 6:10, and I arrive at work at 6:50. Thursday, Chuck drives me. We leave the house at 5:50 and arrive at work at 6:50. Oh, my. Oh, I know. That's the day Chuck picks up the cleaning woman at 7, sure, yeah. And Friday, either Chuck or Sharon driving. We leave the house at 6:10, I arrive at work at 6:50, and they'll drop you at the nursery school at 7:30.
I'm certainly glad you put it all down on paper. I never understand it otherwise.
Yeah, and I'm going to put this schedule right on the windshield, too.
Oh, well, that's all right for going out, but how about coming back?
Well, I don't know. I'll work that out. Of course, on a couple of nights, I don't get home until 8, you know.
It's way too late, Pop.
Did you finish your homework, Chuck?
No, but I finished my family work. I've just been talking to Mr. Davis on the phone, and he's going to give you and Mom private driving lessons. He'll be here every night at 7:30.
7:30? Wait a minute now. I'll have to reshuffle my whole schedule here. Now, what do you mean driving lessons? I've been driving for 25 years.
That's ridiculous.
Wait a minute. Remember what you said to Sharon and me? The most important thing in the world is to learn to drive properly. Well, Pop flunked his test. You think you can pass yours, Mom?
Well, I guess... Now you've got me worried.
That's exactly what I mean. If it was good for Sharon and me to have lessons from an expert, the same thing goes for you, too. So reshuffle your schedule, Dad, because Mr. Davis will be here every night at 7:30.
Not on Saturdays.
Well, then why not?
Well, on account of the schedule. I've taken care of everything for everybody all week long. There's only one thing I couldn't figure out.
Well, what's that?
On Saturdays, I never get home from work.
Although Charlie's schedule still has some holes in it, I'm sure that the Ruggles family will be able to work it out in a democratic, logical way. Or can they? Tune in tomorrow at the same time for another episode in the life of the Ruggles, starring Charlie Ruggles. Heard in tonight's cast were Lorene Tuttle as Margaret, Sammy Ogg as Chuck, Margaret Carey as Sharon, Mark Evans as Donald, and Kathy Garver as Donna. Roy Rowan speaking.
I just can't help wondering, Margaret.
What about, Charlie?
How many parents who can't do anything with their kids can never do anything with themselves either.
Come on in and meet the Ruggles, starring Charlie Ruggles. They're your neighbors and mine. There's Charlie, his wife Margaret, and the children, Sharon, 18, Chuck, 16, and the twins, Donna and Donald. They're 9. They live just on the block from you and across the street from me. Let's see what's happening to them today. Oh, it's 5 a.m. at the Ruggles house. I hope that's not too early for you. Yesterday, a little problem developed. Charlie had to take a driver's test for his new license. He flunked it. And then Margaret met a policeman, and she found out her driver's license had expired, too. Now Sharon and Chuck are the only drivers in the family, and they're at school all day. Let's join the Ruggles now and see how Charlie's schedule solves the family's transportation problem.
Good night. morning, Charles.
Good. You know, Margaret, you've got a cruel streak. Turning the electric blanket to high is no way to wake a man up.
Well, it did the job. You're here.
Yeah, sure, but I feel like that bacon frying over there. Crisp.
What's everybody doing up in the middle of the night?
It's 5 a.m., dear.
That's what I said. What's everybody doing up in the middle of the night?
We have a little problem, Sharon. You remember who's going to drive whom, where, and when?
Oh, gosh, I forgot. Hey, what's Chuck doing over there at the table? He's asleep.
Yeah, he certainly is. And with his head in the cereal bowl, his crew cut looks like shredded wheat. Hey, Chuck, come on, boy. Now, wake up, son.
I don't think it's good for a growing boy to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Well, it's not too easy for senior citizens either.
No. Donald, Donna, come eat your breakfast.
Okay, Mom.
Oh, my. Whoa. Somebody left the gate open. There's a stampede.
Boy, Mom, can we get up at 5 o'clock every morning? This is fun.
It sure is. I just turned on the television set. They've got a certain British movie on the late show.
Everybody sit down and eat, please. We've got a stiff schedule ahead of us.
All right, sit down, everybody. Sit down. Come on, Chuck. Now, wake up. Now, come on. Get your head out of that bowl, will you?
Pass the sugar, Dad, and I'll pour some milk over his head. Crew cutting bananas.
Just try it, Smarty. Anyway, I wasn't asleep. I was just thinking.
It is sort of nice being up this early. Doesn't your father look comfy with his head on my shoulder? Just look over there at that sunrise.
Looks like a great big red bloodshot eye.
Chuck, you don't have any soul. You just don't have an eye for beauty. Oh, it's lovely.
If we get to do all this riding every morning, do you suppose Pop could fix up the record player so it'll work in the car?
You and Donald will be able to do some of your homework on the way to school.
Boy, Donna, when are you going to learn to keep quiet?
Yeah, I'm a regular blabbermouth.
Charles, you better wake up. Dear, we're almost there.
Hey, Pop, come on, wake up.
What? Oh. What's going on? Where are we? Where are we going? What is that shining over there?
That's the sunrise, dear. Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, my. Looks like a great big red bloodshot eye.
Father, you just don't...
Sharon.
Hey, Chuck, you're speeding, boy, now. You're passing those cars on the right so fast they look like they're standing still.
Well, they are, Pop. They're parked.
Are they?
Oh, here's the Williams Company, dear.
Oh, fine. I'm all right now. Now, let's see what time it is, just for fun, Well, what do you know about that? 6:48.
ETA.
Huh? What's that?
ETA, that's flying talk. Estimated time of arrival, 6:50.
Oh, Roger, over and out.
Well, there's one consolation, dear. You're certainly getting to work bright and early.
Early, yes, but bright I don't feel. Thank you for the nap, Margaret.
You needed it, dear.
Now remember, Chuck and Sharon, the schedule for the whole week is right there where I taped it on the windshield. You follow that and everything will work out like a charm.
Okay,
Papa.
All right.
Bye, dear. Bye.
Everybody.
What time does the schedule show that Donna and me get to school?
7:45, right after I leave off Sharon.
7:45? Holy cow! We gotta find some place to hide, Donna.
What on earth for?
If the other kids find out about it, they'll think Donna and me are trying out for teacher's pet.
Well, now, there's nothing wrong with having a teacher like you, and her thinking you're two very industrious children.
Oh, yes, there is, Mom. Miss Quincy likes Marvin Watson. And last week she kissed him. She got lipstick all over his nose.
Yeah, and what's more, he moved his seat right next to her desk.
Don't try to reason with the mother. Children are all alike. They never understand what's good for them.
Yeah, it's a motorcycle cop. I wonder what he wants.
Oh, pull over to the side, Chuck. How fast were you going, dear?
35, right in the nose.
You weren't speeding.
Don't worry, Chuck. When he comes up, I'll let him have it right in the kisser with my water pistol.
Don't you dare. And what are you doing taking it to school anyway?
Hey, maybe you'd better let me talk to him, Chuck. He's real cute.
Now then, everyone be calm. I'm sure there's some logical explanation.
Oh, Mom, if Mr. Davis hears about this, I'm sunk.
Let me see the driver's license, son.
Well, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. I've got it in my wallet.
What seems to be the trouble, officer?
It's a piece of paper in your windshield, ma'am. It's against the law to have anything like that there. That's obstruction to your vision. Might cause you to have an accident.
Here's my license, sir.
This isn't your license. That's a girl's picture. Mighty pretty, too.
Gee, it was in my wallet next to... Well, here's my license. Oh, gosh, that one's Betty. The license must be here. Oh, here it is.
That piece of paper is our schedule, officer, but we'll take it off right away.
Well, all right, then. I intended to give you just a warning. Here's your license, son. You can go.
Thank you, officer. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, officer. This family's had enough trouble with the police for 1 week.
Oh? Trouble with the police? Maybe we better talk this over.
Donna, you're a blabbermouth.
Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, boss. Mr. Williams.
This is quite a surprise. First time anybody's beaten me to work in years.
Well, I'm sorry, sir. I know how much pride you take in getting to work before anyone else.
Don't be, my boy. Warms the cockles of my heart to see you here.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, sir. You've put your finger on one of the most important problems management has.
I have?
Yes, sir. How to get an honest day's work for an honest day's wages. You're giving full measure, my boy, and it touches me.
Oh.
My cup runneth over.
Speaking of cups, Mr. Williams, would you like me to get you some coffee?
Let's make this a real red-letter day, Charles. I'm going down to the cafeteria with you. We'll have a cup of coffee together.
Oh, wonderful.
I always knew you had the stuff, Charles. You're my best man, and don't think I don't appreciate it.
Oh, well, I thank you, Mr. Williams. Thank you.
Come on, we're going to have a cup of coffee together.
Fine.
Remember the old saying, the early bird gets the worm.
Yes, Mr. Mr. Williams, I will.
Donald, turn that television set down.
Okay. Gee, Mom, when's supper? I'm so hungry I could eat spinach.
That's one of the ones we're having, dear. Turn that television down.
It's almost 7 o'clock. We never eat this late.
It stopped. We will be for a while. More, Donald. That's better.
I'll get it, Mom. It's probably Sally. Hello? Oh, hello, Sally. I can't talk long. We haven't had supper yet. Well, we just decided not to have it at 6 o'clock anymore.
Hello, everybody. Well, I did it. Here's Pop.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, my gracious.
Hi, Pop.
Oh, you look tired, dear. Chuck, hang up your father's hat and coat.
Oh, I'd rather he hung me up, Margaret.
Donna, get your father's slippers.
Sure, Mom.
Sit down here, Charles.
All right.
Donald, get your father the paper there.
Here are your slippers and the paper.
Yeah, thank you, kids. It's almost worth getting up at 5 o'clock for, this is.
How was your day?
Well, I made quite an impression on Mr. Williams today. It seems he admires my eagerness and my drive. Now I'm probably stuck with getting to work early in the morning permanently.
Oh, dear. You mean you didn't tell him why it happened?
Oh, no, I couldn't, no. He was singing my praises so loudly I didn't dare come up with a sour note, you know.
Gee, can you talk a little softer? We can't hear what they're saying in this movie.
Oh, gee, Mom, we better sit down and eat. Mr. Davis is coming here at 7:30. And you know how prompt he is.
Now, Chuck, I think maybe you better call that off. Your mother and I really don't need driving lessons.
Pop, I can't call it off now. Well, he thinks it's a terrific idea.
He does?
Well, sure. He's going to organize a special class for the parents. And he's using you as an example of what alert, conscientious citizens should do to make our highways safer.
You don't say.
Yeah, he even made up a slogan for the new class.
Oh, and what is that?
You can teach an old dog new tricks.
Well, how about that? Yesterday I found out that my children think I'm a senior citizen, and today I find out that Mr. Davis thinks I'm an old dog.
Well, if the old dog is ready, supper's on the table.
Oh, you want a translation on that? I'm hungry.
Although both of you have been driving for many years, I'm going to start this series of lessons in precisely the same way I would start with a new teenage driver.
Oh, I think that's an excellent idea, Mr. Davis.
Yeah, there might be some very important steps we'd forgotten and that we're overlooking, Mr.
Well, I'm glad you're so cooperative, Mr. and Mrs. Ruggles. Now, this is the ignition key. You put it in the ignition, and turn it.
Oh, well, we haven't been overlooking that.
No.
Well, now the actual operation of a motor vehicle is extremely simple.
Oh, I'm sure you'll make it so.
The manufacturers and designers have made it so simple even a child can operate one. Automatic shift, no clutch, power brakes, power steering, power seats, power windows. The whole thing becomes absurdly easy to operate.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right, Mr. Davis. They've gotten the automobile to the point where it's almost as easy to drive as a horse and buggy.
Yeah. However, the skill of maneuvering a vehicle on the streets and highways and through traffic is where most drivers fall down.
Pedestrians fall down. Drivers pile up.
Yeah, very witty, Mr. Ruggles.
Yeah, I thought it was,
yes,
too.
Very. And oh, so apropos. Now then, our first lesson will be in driving out of your driveway. And here is where we must learn a very difficult but very essential art. How to drive in the reverse position. Now, if you'll observe, I push the gear into the reverse position. I look in the rearview mirror. All's clear. Now I press the accelerator. Then, as we move slowly backward, I place my head out the window and look toward the rear of the car.
Yeah, look out for that.
Poor Mr. Davis.
I should have told you about that tree, Mr. Davis. You know, it's right next to the driveway, but we all think it's so beautiful we just can't bear to cut it down.
Did you get the number on that truck?
Oh, dear. You've got an awful lump on the side of your head, Mr. Davis.
Oh.
Let me go and get a cool cloth, Sally.
All right, Margaret. And while we're waiting, Mr. Davis, maybe we can go over that ignition key part again, huh?
The Ruggles are still struggling through the first day. With trouble piling up on them, what will tomorrow bring? One thing is certain, things aren't going to be any easier for the Ruggles. Tune in tomorrow at the same time for another episode in the life of the Ruggles, starring Charlie Ruggles and Handley Stafford as Mr. Williams, with Olin Soule as Mr. Davis. Roy Rowan speaking.